In this video, let us talk about how to use the order of operations, which is PEMDAS, which stands for parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. How to use this PEMDAS to solve a cubic. So far we have solved a linear equation, we have solved a quadratic. Now let us use this principle to solve a simplified cubic equation. Now, when we use the order of operations, there is two steps to using it. The first one is we simplify. We begin at the top and we work our way down and we simplify everything that we can do. And then once we're done with it, we will get to the very bottom, and that will be the simplest version of our original equation or inequality. Once we get to that point, we will start at the bottom and reverse all the remaining operations. We will work our way backwards and we will use the inverse operations to undo the remaining operations. The inverse means an E at the end. Inverse operation. So let's use this template to solve a cubic. So here is a cubic, and it is 2 times the quantity x cubed plus 8 minus x cubed plus 10 is 34. So we will begin by simplifying everything that is inside the parentheses, and since there is nothing that can be simplified inside, we move on to the next operation. So far we have the parentheses are done. Now exponents, there are cubes, but the cubes are attached to the variables which we are looking for, so we cannot cube the x because we don't know what x is, which means the exponents part is also done. Next is multiplication and division. There is a multiplication between the numbers and the parentheses, so we have times right here, and we can do this multiplication right now. So let's go ahead and multiply everything through by 2. So 2 times x cubed makes 2x cubed. 2 times 8 makes 16. The rest of the question is unchanged, so let's copy it over. X cubed 10 equals 34. Now we have completed the multiplication piece. There was no division, so that's done. Next is addition and subtraction. So we only do the operation if it's always true. 2x cubed minus 1x cubed will always be 1x cubed. So 2x cubed minus 1x cubed always makes 1x cubed. Plus 16 plus 10 will always be the same, and that is always 26. So we have completed the addition, we have completed the subtraction. There was nothing else to do. This is the simplest version of our original equation. So this is the original, that's the simplest version, but it is still unsolved. So to solve it, we now need to undo everything that is still here and uncover the x. It's kind of like looking for the treasure on a pirate's map. X marks the spot, but x is hiding with all of these other operations, and we need to undo them first before we can get to our treasure. So let's undo the operations. Now we begin at the bottom. So we start with the same PEMDAS and we begin at the bottom and work our way up. So we undo addition and subtraction first. Addition and subtraction are inverses of each other, so if we have addition, we will use minus to cancel it off. If we have multiplication, we use division to cancel it off. The powers can be undone using roots or logarithms. Once all of these are out of the way, the parentheses become redundant and they just fall off. There is no need for them. So let's go ahead and do this process and see what we get. So we have plus, that's the first thing to undo, is plus and minus. To undo the plus 26, we need minus 26. What we're doing to one side needs to be done on the other side so that the equation is still the same. Minusing 26 from both sides, we have x cubed equals to 8. To undo the cube, we need cube root. So applying cube root to both sides, cube root, we have x is equal to 2. If we need to use the calculator for the cube root, we can type in cube root as the power, which is the caret symbol, 1/3. The bottom number tells you the root number. So this is the third root of 8. So let's use the calculator to confirm if that actually is 2. So here is the calculator. Here is 8 to the power 1 divided by 3, and the answer is 2. So our answer to the equation is 2. This is the final solution. Now let's use the calculator to see if the to make a sketch of this and see if that actually makes sense visually. So we begin with our original equation. Type in here, clear all the screens. So here we have 2 times the quantity x to the third plus 8 and then minus x. Ooh, look at where that goes. Let's do that again. Okay, 2 times x to the power 3. Now let's move out of the power. Plus 8 minus x to the power 3 plus 10. Ooh, look at that again. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, come down. Plus 10. So when we use the arrows, we can move from the power down. So otherwise, everything that once we type in the power, everything we type afterwards stays in the power. So we need to use these arrows to step down from the power and start writing the rest of the equation. So let's see if that looks right. 2x cubed plus 8 minus x cubed plus 10, correct. Then the other side is 34. Now when we make a sketch, the normal window only goes from minus 10 to 10 and from minus 10 to 10. So we're not going to see 34 up here. So to see 34, we need to adjust the window. Let's change the window to something that has y max more than 34. How about 50? 50 is enough. So that should give us the good look. So here is the cubic. Here comes the 34. The red line is 34. Where they cross is the part where the left side was equal to the right side. That's the solution. Let's find what it is. Second, calculate, and we're looking for the intersection. So intersection between these 2 curves. First curve, enter is yes. Second curve, enter is yes. Yes, enter is yes. So the answer is 2. We can see that when x is 2, the answer is 34. When x is 2, the answer is 34, which confirms that our solution is correct. Now let's briefly talk about a different way of remembering the order of operations and why it may be working the way it is. So when we look at the order of operations, we can use the yin and yang symbol to remember it as well. So here's PEMDAS in a different diagram. It's the old yin and yang symbol: parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. The first step is we start at the top and we work our way this way, going through all the operations, and we do them as they are. So if it's a square, we square. If it's a multiplication, we multiply. If it's a division, we divide, and so on. Once all of this is complete, we get to the bottom and we work our way backwards, and we undo everything that is still left. Plus undoes minus, multiplication does division, and so on. So this is the different visual to memorize the order of operations, which is PEMDAS. Now, why does it work? It works partially because mathematics represents the real world. So when mathematics is just a model of a real world, it's a simplified model of a real world. But in real world, we have things that do things and then things that undo it. If we have, here's a cup of coffee, very much simplified. So if the cup of coffee is cold, we put it on the heat to make it warmer. So we use the inverse operation. Cold is one operation, heat is its inverse, and the heat undoes the cold. The left and right undo each other, the up and down, and good and evil, life and death. There are so many things that go in this, that have this pattern. They have the something positive and then something negative that undoes it and brings it back to the balance. And that's what this order of operation signifies. It shows how the things are related, what things do and what operations undo them back. So this is just a collection of what to use. If your coffee is cold, we heat it. If the pizza is hot, if your Pepsi is hot, we put it in the cooler, and so on. So that's just a different analogy to remember the same thing we already have discussed. And that's it for this video. If you have any questions on anything, please let me know. Thank you for your time. Take care.